Hello everyone, here we go. Today is our monthly live scrapbooking spotlight. I'm excited to bring it to you today. Scrapbooking was my first love before I was ever a card maker. I do both, and I have run scrapbooking classes consistently over the last nearly 10 years now. And I do that once every 2 months up in the Hunter Valley. So I hope that some of you maybe have seen some of our scrapbooking stuff before. How is everyone? Hey, Kate, nice to see you live. Hi. Hello, Susie. Kerry, I said hi to you in the comments, and I did read your answer that you were mostly a card maker, but you're wanting to do a scrapbook for a specific occasion or a specific event. Susie, hi, nice to see you. I'm just looking through to see who else I've missed. Hello, Maureen, nice to see you. Hello, Denise. Hi there, how are you? Are you live today, Denise, this afternoon? I can't remember. I'm terrible at remembering who does what and when. No good. Oh, I'm on the TV, so I'm on the big screen. That's as close to famous as I'm ever going to get, Kate. And that's fine with me. Hello, Linda. Now, GA, I'm so sorry. What state is that? I don't actually know what state that is. Is it Georgia? I am not sure. Live at 2. I thought you might be. Well, I should only be here for about an hour. So for anyone who wants to go and watch more crafting today, Denise will be live at 2. That's Denise McCabe. She's in the comments. You can see her name there and go and visit her. Now, Susie, you said something about crowns. And Susan, my lovely friend over in the US, she said something about crowns. So I'm assuming this is a new YouTube thing, and I need to work out what that means. But is it they give crowns, I think, to the people who comment the most or something like that? Which is not fair because we should all be wearing crowns, right? Hello, Margaret. Nice to see you. Hi, Kathleen. Hello, Roz. Jolene is here. It is Georgia. I was right. Hello, Leslie. Nice to see you. You're sitting out the front getting some sun. Well, there's no sun to be had here today, but at least it's not blowing a gale like it was yesterday. My apologies for yesterday's video, guys. We lost power and internet halfway through, which meant that I couldn't get back into the video to tell you what was going on. I was able to contact Denise, and then finally I was able to get back in to the chat. And I had to close it all down. So I'm so sorry. There's no evidence that we were ever here yesterday. But I've decided I'm going to go live tomorrow instead. Same time as Tuesday. I'm going to do a Thursday technique Thursday this week. So we've never done that before. How do people feel about that? Do you think you might be able to pop back? Of course, if you can't watch the live, you can always watch the replay. Hello. Brenda's here. Hello. Hi. Oh, the perfect lunch mate. Fantastic, Ellen. I'm glad you're here. All right. Now, I need to tell you guys. Oh, hey, Susan. How are you? We've got a good crowd here. All right. I need to tell you guys that I normally craft when I do these scrapbooking spotlight videos, if I can get my words out correctly. We normally do a kit. And today, due to me, it's my mess up. I didn't order the kit early enough. I knew what kit I wanted to use. And then I kind of went on the weekend. I went, oh, I forgot to order the kit. Oh, my goodness. And so it's due to arrive tomorrow, which is, I'll do it next month. So that's no big deal. So that means this month I've had to come up with something out of my own head, which is a real worry. But I think we can still make something cool today. Okay, so I decided to go with something new. I'm going to go with some brand new product, and we're going to make up a scrapbooking page with that. And I'm going to talk about my process of how I choose photos and how I choose papers and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, good, Linda. You lost the internet last Friday. Oh, gosh, that's terrible. Friday to Monday, the whole weekend. What did you do? Did you have to read a book or do some crafting? Of course. What do we do when we lose our power and our internet? I know there's a lot of people here on the coast and down in Sydney too who don't have power at all. So there might be a few people not able to watch because of that. I haven't seen Leslie yet. I'm wondering if she's one of those without power. But yeah, All right. So, yes, hopefully we will see you again at 2 o'clock tomorrow for the Technique Tuesday, also Technique Thursday, also known as Technique Tuesday. All right. So let's switch over to the desk and get going. And I'm hoping today I might get to make a card with you as well. That's the plan. I've got my coffee, so that's looking good. I should have showed you the cup. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to tip coffee on my desk, but can you kind of see what's on my cup? I've got black cockatoos on my cup. I've got two favorite cups. One's got cats on it. No one's surprised about that. And this is the other one with the black cockatoos. I'm, like I said, trying not to tip the coffee out, but you might be able to see them there. This was gifted to me by some lovely customers, some of my Hunter Valley ladies, and for Christmas last year. And it was just such a thoughtful gift because they know how much I love birds in general, and particularly black cockatoos. I have a real thing for them. So, oh, Susan, you're still in bed. That's no good. Flu is awful. Did you do a test just to check? You know what? I went to my local chemist's warehouse and did I got a COVID test because when I got back, I think people know I had COVID the first week I was away. That's fun. I picked it up on the plane on the way over, I think, and ended up in bed with it for about 5 days, bit more than 5 days. But that's not a good way to spend an overseas trip, right? And then when I came home, I picked up some sort of flu or something, and so did my husband. We picked up some sort of flu, and probably on the way back again. I did a test just to check. It wasn't COVID. But the test that you get now not only it was only $8 for a test, and it tested for COVID, but it also tested for flu A and B and RSV. So it tested for like all these different things, and I was negative for all of them. So I think I was just run down from having had COVID before and just really susceptible to any bugs. That's what happens. Kathleen said you crafted during the daylight hours. Oh, goodness me. Well, yesterday we had what they called a mini cyclone event. So we don't call them hurricanes here. We call them cyclones, but it's basically the same thing. So can be pretty nasty. Anyway, I'm going to show you what we're making. You can probably see here. I'm going to be using some new paper. So this paper came out yesterday. Who's been in the online exclusives and played with this stuff? There's some beautiful new things available in the online store. I'm going to put my, while I think of it, I'm going to put my blog address, lookwhatimade.com.au. I'm going to put that there so that you can just know that if you want to go shopping and buy any of the things you see me using today, that's the address you go to. And when you log in, there's a shop now button. Okay, when you go there, there's a shop now button, and then that automatically, when you click that, takes you to the online store, but not just any online store. Because you go through my blog, it takes you to my personal store, which means you're then shopping with me. Okay, so if you don't have a demonstrator already, then you certainly can shop with me in the online store. Okay, so that's what that's all about. So any of the things you see me using today are available. Okay, I'm going to take it down so it doesn't cover up our view of the gorgeous paper that I'm about to show you. Oh, there you go. Leslie's explaining about the crown. As viewers engage with the live stream, they'll notice the crown icon at the top of the chat, which displays the cumulative points they've earned for engaging in what specific live stream. So the people who engage the most, I guess, are going to get crowns. Is that right? Is that how it works? Oh, too late for antivirals because you were aware. Oh, yeah. I know. You've got to get to it really fast if you want antivirals. I know, right? I know. The Kathleen, that sunflower embossing folder is beautiful. It's just the most fabulous folder, and I can't wait to play with it some more. I will be using it tomorrow in my live video if anyone's tuning in at 2 o'clock for that. All right, so let's look at this beautiful paper. Now, I'm showing you this one first. This is the one with all the pieces on it that are actually able to be cut out. Can you see I've actually done a bit of cutting? So we have matching dies. The matching dies are called Perfectly Pairs, and so is the matching stamp set. Okay, so this is all part of the suite. You can just buy the bundle if you want to, of course, but if you want the whole suite, you can get everything. And this suite includes, and I'd love to show you the whole suite, but I can't because guess who's misplaced her dots, her embellishments from this suite? I cannot find them. I went looking for about half an hour before this live, and I don't know what I've done with them. They'll show up. I know you guys never lose stuff in your craft room, right? So I don't know where mine is, but anyway, they'll show up. this is the matching ribbon. It's Mossy Meadow and gold, and it's more gold on one side than the other. Can you see that? It's beautiful ribbon. And this is my favorite size ribbon. It's 1/4 inch, which means it's really easy to tie. So if you're looking for good tieable ribbons, quite often 1/4 inch is a great size. 1/2 inch is okay if it's soft ribbon. But as soon as ribbon gets a little bit stiff, then you really want to go with 1/4 inch for tying a nice bow. See, it ties a nice bow. It's really lovely. And it's more gold, like I said, on one side than the other. So you can choose which side you prefer to use. So it's really nice. But that's the Mossy Meadow and gold ribbon that matches this suite. The stamps and the dies. And the dies have these that match this paper. And every single image on this paper cuts out. So that makes it very, very usable. Okay. And I'm going to do a little bit of cutting with this today. All right. We've got little flowers that we can add. We've got some little branches. The branches look really good with these little pairs on them. So these pairs also cut out with the dies. So all your images on this paper actually are cut outable. And we love that. So let me see, even the flowers, even those, not the yellow flowers, but the petal pink flowers, everything else, those 4 things all cut out of this paper. So I think that's fantastic. Hey, Joan, nice to see you. I know, right? Me too, Kathleen. I lose stuff without moving from my chair too. So, yeah, thanks for humoring me and making me feel a little bit better. All right, now you might notice, and I did this on the video because on Friday night we used this. Actually, where is it? Here it is. On Friday night we made this card with this bundle, okay, and I used some of the less busy paper in the background just to make my pairs, and you can see I've cut out a pair and also one of the little leaf stems, and then we used some people, Susan said they were on her video the other night, Susan Campfield I'm talking about, they were saying that they called these waffle fries, which I guess they kind of look like waffle fries, kind of. But I call them a cross-hatch design. And look, I have got some of the embellishments that I can show you because I have actually attached them to this card. So there you go. So yeah, that turned out really nice. And that was actually following a sketch because that was Friday night when we have sketch night. And that's every Friday night, right? In my most, Leslie contacted me yesterday because this is Leslie Smith, because you're not into fruit designs. I know. It is lovely. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. And I'm going to talk about my process to choose photos and papers. But Leslie contacted me yesterday to tell me that she was very confused after reading my newsletter because I said, in capital letters, mind you, to really make a highlight of it, that I go live every night and also Tuesday afternoons and other times. And Leslie's like, did I miss something? Do you go live every night? Am I missing videos? I'm like, no, I forgot the crucial word in there, which was every. And, of course, I've got every in capitals. Every Friday night is what it's meant to say, and I left out the word Friday. So for anyone else who was confused by that that newsletter that I sent out yesterday with that information in it, I'm so sorry. I don't get stuff right all the time, guys. All right, so I'm going to end up cutting some of this. So I'm going to keep these out because I want to use them, okay? And then I'm going to quickly show you through the paper. So we've got this 2 of this page, okay, which I've already cut in half here. And the background page is this, which is also really nice. So I would use that on the scrapbook page, absolutely. Then we have this one. Now, this is the one I want to use today, actually. I'm going to use this as my base piece today, I think. I think that's what I'm doing. It's got pears, it's got leafy bits, it's got flowers, really nice. And on the back, we've got like some petal pink. And it doesn't say it in the colors of the paper, but I think the darker color there is Calypso Coral, even though that's not mentioned. Okay, so it's quite nice. So there's 2 of those. And I'm going to keep one out because that's the one I think I want to use. And then I've got this one that's got a Darling Duckling background. Now, Darling Duckling is a yellow, but it is got a little bit of a green undertone to it. So I'll show you that in a second and how it differs from Daffodil Delight. And then on the back, that's the paper I used on my card that I just showed you. Okay, you're always losing things, Teresa. I know, right? I just can't. I'm the queen of losing stuff. Oh, look what I found. Oh, my gosh. Hey, everyone. Here's the gems. Oh, my goodness. Yay, I found them. I've been looking everywhere for those. All right, there's some more of this paper. I think I've already got enough. This one's really pretty. It's got a secret sea background. If anyone's wondering if that's black, no, it isn't. It's secret sea. Okay, and you can see a little bit of that color coming out in the leaves as well. And it looks like we've got some pears, we've got some flowers, really, really pretty. And on the back of that one, we have some Darling Duckling check. It's actually Darling Duckling with petal pink lines, which form a check. Okay. Hey, Betty, nice to see you there. Fireworks. Oh, because it's Canada Day. I was talking to my friend Tina Zink last night on chat, and she mentioned that it was Canada Day today. So congratulations and happy Canada Day. All right. So now this one I really like. This one reminds me, remember that Sweet as a Peach paper we had a few years ago? Very similar colors, and it's really nice. You do need to be careful with this one because it does have a direction that it goes. You can see that the pears all need to be facing with their bottoms, because pears, as you know, as we know, are rounder in the bottom and thinner up the top. Okay, so you do need to make sure that this is going the right way. So initially I wanted to put it this way because the leaves are coming down, but then I realized, no, it's got to go this way because it's got to be the right way to face the pears. So that's something to be aware of. And on the back of that, you've got some Mossy Meadow and Old Olive in there. Can you see that? It's very nice. Take another sip. I know, right? It does look like a mustard, but not as, remember last year we had Wild Wheat was one of the in colors. In fact, I think you can probably still buy that one. I'm not sure. But Wild Wheat, but that was a lot darker. That was a much darker, mustardy color, all right, than this. And this has got a petal pink background. This is actually my favorite color, my favorite paper in the piece. So I think this is beautiful. And it looks so lush and gorgeous. And on the back of that one, we have some Secret Sea with Old Olive lines. Can you see that? To form a grid. All right, so oh, thank you, Kathleen. I'll see you when you come back on for the replay. It was nice to have you here for a bit. All right, so I have pulled this piece out and we're going to get going with this. So I'm keeping this because I want to cut some pears and things, pears and leaves and stuff. And I'm so glad I found the gems. I couldn't find them anywhere. So happy about that. And you can see that these colors all go together as you would expect. So we've got Darling Duckling, which it actually looks yellow and gold there. It's actually really nice. Then we've got Mossy Meadow here, and we've got Secret Sea here. The Secret Sea actually, when you turn it in the light, actually looks a bit pretty peacocky. So it's kind of somewhere between Secret Sea and Pretty Peacock. It's really pretty, really, really nice. All right, so I went looking for photos, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today. When I'm looking for photos, all right, so there are two ways to approach a scrapbooking page. Start with your photos, which is my preferred way to do it, or start with your paper, which sometimes I have to do if I want to use particular paper to show my customers or to do a class. Okay, so even though I prefer to start with my photos and then go looking for paper to match, I sometimes end up going the other way. So today I knew I wanted to use this Painterly Pears paper. That's what it's called, Painterly Pears. Okay. However, I wasn't sure what photos I wanted to use. So I went looking. I have a million trillion photographs in very, very poorly organized. One of these days I need to go through. I have like one of those IKEA trolleys, and it's just full of photographs and scrapbooking stuff. Okay, that's my scrapbooking nook, if you like. I really need to go through it and go and, you know, somehow organize the photos, but I'm not even sure how to start. Take a sip of my drink. All right. So what I ended up doing was I found some photos that I thought, hang on a second. These photos are going to work, not all of them, but these are some photos from a trip to Hawaii with Stampin' Up! Back in 2015. I have been so blessed to be on multiple trips with Stampin' Up! Over the years. Nobody does events like Stampin' Up!, whether it's training events or virtual events or any kind of events, but the incentive trips are next level. They are fantastic. And I have to say, whenever I talk about it, I'm obliged to say for legal reasons that less than 1% of demonstrators actually achieve these trips. So I'm very, very proud of what I've been able to achieve. I've missed one trip in the almost 19 years that I've been a demonstrator, and that was in 2012. In 2012, I missed a trip. And it was so sad because I only just missed it. I missed it by that much. So yeah, I'm very, very proud of being able to do that. But that means I have lots and lots of photos to scrap. I see we have a bit of shadow coming here. If the shadow, that means the sun is actually trying to come out through the clouds. So if it does end up causing a lot of shadow, I'll have to shut the blind. Let me know if we need to do that. Hey, Jody. Hello. Nice to see you. All right. So I went through a bunch of photos this morning, and I was looking for sort of leafy kind of photos. So you're going to see not all these photos fit the bill. But here's what I suggest. When you're looking for either photos or paper, either way, whichever way you want to go, you are looking for what I like to call echoes. That might make no sense. You're thinking, what is she talking about? I look for echoes from the paper to the photos or back the other way. So echoes in here, the most easy way to start matching photos and paper is to look at your colors. That is the easiest way. And if you are, if you've got the right colors, then, straight away you're ahead. Okay. You don't want to have clashing colors, but sometimes okay color matching is okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh gosh, I know. Well, it was actually, yeah, I forget what I was one promotion short. I had the sales. It was back in the days where you had to get a certain number of sales, and then you had to get a certain number of promotions in order to go. They don't do it that way anymore. You just have to get a number of points, and you can do it anyhow you like. It's actually a lot easier to earn a trip, in my opinion, now than it used to be. And I was one promotion short. So I was very, very sad. It was really sad. So but I didn't want to break the rules either. So when I was looking at this paper, I was thinking, what echoes? And I was thinking, okay, I've got some Hawaii photos. I'll show you a few of these photos. You know what this is? This is two monks on the beach in Hawaii playing on their iPads. You can't see their iPads in this photo, although it might actually see a little bit of an iPad poking out from under his arm there, but they were actually on their iPads on the beach, which I thought was hilarious. And then we have, some beautiful water and beaches. This one. So driving around, this was a day that my husband and I, before the trip, we went to the North Shore because we were staying at Honolulu, and for anyone who knows Oahu, you can drive right around it easily in a day. It's not far. And we drove around to the North Shore and saw lots of things. So this is actually turtles on the beach, which we weren't allowed to touch them. I don't know if anyone knows. It might be different now, but back then it was a $10,000 fine if you touched a turtle on the beach. So hands off the turtles, guys. Sometimes the turtles come up to you, and you can't stop that. But that one I think is a repeat. That's a double up, that photo. And then we went to, there's a Buddhist temple just outside of Honolulu, which my hubby and I went to, and that was really nice. And then more driving around the hills, because it's a volcanic place. The hills around Hawaii are just crazy fantastic. There's a couple of views from our hotel of the pool and the water, and there was so many turtles out in the water. You could actually spot the turtles looking out the window. It was so cool. This photo, these ones here from the same trip, do not go with this page. I am discarding those, moving them to one side. Okay, so definitely not going to work, because if you're looking at colors, but you can see the colors here actually match very, very well, because we've got this green and yellow here in the algae on the beach. So actually that works really well. Okay, if we're going to look at colors, there's me and hubby going for a little bit of a forest walk, or it's a bit of rainforest near the Buddhist temple, and then we have some fruit, which was also on the same day. And I actually really like this photo because we went into a fruit shop. You can see there's avocados. There might be pears here. I'm not sure. Could be, but actually I think there may be pawpaws or papaya or something. But pineapples and bananas and stuff, right? So these colors work really well. Okay, so straight away we've got the right colors to go with our paper. So that's a good start. However, I probably wouldn't normally scrapbook a photo of fruit, but we've got pears on our page, guys. And so all of a sudden that there are echoes of subject matter between our paper and our photos. So that brings this up to a probable photo to use. Okay, I want to use one of me and Paul. That looks nice. I think one of the turtles, this is probably the best turtle photo I have. And look at the colors here. We've got Calypso Coral and Petal Pink in the temple, and look at the colors. Those work really, really well. Okay, so between colors and subject matter, we've got some really good things going on here. And I'm looking at my turtle photos, and this is the best one. So I'm going to discard those couple. I love this piece. This might be good for if I was doing a double layout for a second page, because it's got some of the green that matches with the green in my paper, even though we've got blue and of the ocean and stuff, but I'm not going to use it on this piece. Same with this one. We've got leafy yellow and green going on here, which fits in nice, but I'll save that for another page. And so I'm discarding pieces that I definitely know aren't going to work. So when you come, so these are the 4 that I like, that I'm left with. All right, so, but 4 photos on a page is a lot. I usually either pick a fantastic photo and just go with that one, or I do a double layout and maybe do 2 per page rather than trying to stick 4 on a page. Or you can use flip-flaps. If those of you who haven't used flip-flaps before, flip-flaps are a great way to add extra photos to a page without bulking up and overloading your page. All right. Now I've got another idea that I kind of found by accident. I was busy the other day cutting up, and if Sheila's watching, using my Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, I love, love, love these. I know they do, right? It's to do with life and, you know, still life maybe, but yeah, it is. So you are correct, Sherry. So I was cutting out the largest, and this is an accident that I found this, and I'm sure other people have done it before, but I thought it was, when I saw what I'd done, I'm like, oh, that's a bit clever without even meaning to be clever. All right, so I'm going to put those back in. I've got my largest square, okay, and I found a piece of, let me find it. I've got a piece of paper, just white paper. Oh, and I also pulled all these out. These are the colors in the paper. This is Darling Duckling, Basic Beige, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Secret Sea. Those are the colors in this paper, okay? I find it really helpful sometimes to pull the colors out, okay? Oh, that's okay. You're multitasking, Jody. Well, good on you. Yep, you are correct. I think it's a good point, that it is all about life and doing stuff. Okay, so these are, now I like this. I did say I would tell you this. This is the Darling Duckling. Oh, here comes the sun. I'm just going to pull out Daffodil for a second so you can see the difference between Darling Duckling and Daffodil. This is Daffodil. Can you see? Well, it's a bit hard in this light. I hope you can see. This is a lot greener than this. Can you see that? And you don't think that it's got any green in it until you put it next to another yellow, but it definitely has. All right, so just, I wanted to show you that comparison because it's quite, that's why Darling Duckling works so well with the greens. So if you're, you know, scrapbooking, Darling Duckling is a good color if you're working with outdoor photos because there's probably going to be a lot of greens in them. And that's why I think Darling Duckling has worked so well in this paper. Oh, you could see it. Good. Good. Okay, so those I pulled out just so you could get a feel for those. All right, so I've got my square here. And let me see, what did I do? There it is. I've got a piece of paper here, okay, and this is, and someone's probably going to work out what I'm doing straight away, okay. So I measured this paper to be 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters by 10 centimeters or roughly 4 inches, okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my square and I'm going to cut out here at the top. So I've got the same amount of distance here, here, and here. That leaves us a bigger piece here. Okay, can everyone guess what I'm doing? And I didn't mean to do this. It just so happened it was an accident. And I went, oh, that's a great idea for a scrapbook page. I love it when you have a happy accident. And it's a very simple idea. So this is another way we could add more photos if we wanted to. All right, did everyone see what I did there? All right, so when you take that off, you now have what looks like a Polaroid. Okay, so I've got a couple of these because here's one I prepared earlier. And you could, you know, like we're a bit too big for this. I would like to cut this down because I don't need all this, you know, messy bush up in the top here. But you could, if you wanted to, put a Polaroid and have a really close cropped, like make it look like a Polaroid. Yeah, exactly. All right, so this one might work well. I mean, it seems a shame to cut off all the rest of the temple, but I don't mind that. That does highlight us, and I could cut. So I would just need to cut this slightly less than the 3.5 this way and the 4. And, you know, well, if I did 3.5 by 3.5, it will sit behind here quite nicely. Okay, so I probably want to use, I could do the same thing. I could crop part of this and just do, you know, it says Dole pineapples because that's where the Dole pineapples come from that you get in your Dole pineapple tins. They come from Oahu. And if you're wondering what, for anyone who doesn't know, Oahu is the island where Honolulu is. Okay, so you've got Hawaii, which is actually what they call the Big Island. That's actually not the most populous part of Hawaii where everybody goes. You can go there, but that's not actually. There you go, little geography lesson for you today. So you can see that I could put these in here, and that would look quite nice as well. All right, so yeah, these are a great way that we could put a couple of Polaroid snaps, and we could, you know, have them on an angle or something like that. So I might decide to do my turtle because I've got a lot of stuff here that is not really showing off the turtle well. All right, and I would like to show off my turtle because that was actually one of the funnest things I remember doing that day. When my husband and I were driving by a beach, and we'd only arrived in Hawaii the day before, and I had actually said to him that one of my goals in Hawaii was to see a turtle in the wild, you know, and I didn't realize how many of them there actually are. They're everywhere once you know where to look. But up on the North Shore, if you take a drive up there, that's where there are a lot of turtles. They come in on their migration from up there. And so we were driving along the road in our Jeep and looked off to the right, and I could see a big crowd of people on the beach and realized that the big crowd of people on the beach were watching all the turtles on the beach. And that's when I said, well, stop, we've got to stop. We're going to go see the turtles. Well, we did go see the turtles, and this was one of the turtles we saw. So we had a lot of fun. There was actually a turtle that day. It was very exciting. There was a turtle that was brand new. And when I say brand new, most of the turtles are tagged, but this turtle was an untagged turtle, which meant the lady who was there to tag them or to check their tags, when she scanned this turtle, there was no tag, and she was so excited because that was the first new turtle they had seen in years on that beach. All the other turtles came back every year, and they could tag, you know, they could check their tags and see which one they were and where they'd been and all that kind of stuff. But this turtle was a brand new one, which meant there was a new, there was hope for the turtle population on that beach, which is fantastic. So I'm actually thinking I'm probably going to do my turtle. I think I like that. And I'm wondering too about doing maybe this one. I can always make another copy because isn't that the best thing about digital photos? And maybe I won't use this one on this side this time. Either that or I would cut it off and have two. Maybe I don't want to cut that one down. I feel like maybe I want to leave that one there so we can see the whole. So I might put that on a different page, another page. All right. So when I come to do maths, okay, I'm thinking about, I'm going to cut my turtle down. And this is a 4-inch by 6-inch photograph. Okay, 4 by 6 is your normal photograph size. And I'm actually going to cut a little bit off the top here. And I'm going to make this, let's start there. And this way, I'm going to take it off this side because I like that there's more green on this side. So I'm going to make this 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches this way. And let's put this on. Oh, I made it a little bit too wide. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. I'm going to take a bit more off. So let me see. How much do I need it to be? 3 1/4. Or actually probably closer to 3, but I'd rather take off too little and I can always take off more. All right, that's looking good. All right, so now I've got my turtle and he's going to be there in the Polaroid. You can take a little bit more off if you want to. I'm going to take a little bit more off this way. So now I've got it 3.5 by 3 1/4. There we go. And then I'm going to, which way will I go? I'm going to put some Tombow, or you can use whatever adhesive you like, just around the square. And we're going to turn that into a Polaroid snap. Actually, I might stick my photo on this way. There we go. Because no one's going to see the back of that, so that's all fine. There we go. Looks like this. All right, so now we have a Polaroid snap, which is great. All right, I'm also going to cut this one down. So it's 4 inches wide. I'm going to cut it 4 inches and cut off some of that bushy nothing at the top because it's not adding anything to my photograph. I'm going to have that. And this one I'm going to leave it as it is. Right. So because we've got all this going around the outside, I'm just going to make sure I've got this the right way. This way is the way I want it to be. So I want my pairs to be positioned the right way across the bottom here. All right. So because I've got that, I don't need to do a lot to the bottom of this paper. It's actually very easy. We could put this on straight and maybe have them, you know, like this. Actually, I don't mind that. That's quite nice. All right. And then we've got a bit of room to work with down here and a bit of room. Now, it is quite busy around the outside. And if you feel that it's too busy, this is where you might be better to use a different sheet of paper or even the same sheet of paper and cut strips off the sides, okay, and put those strips onto a different color. I could do that as well. So if I wanted to go with, let me see. I've got a whole new pack here. Just say I wanted to go with white. And I want to have this kind of thing going on here. And then I've got more room around the outside to do different things with, okay? The other thing is, because it's a Polaroid, it wouldn't look bad if you put it on an angle either. So, you know, you could do some funny things with your photos. I do like having photos of different sizes on a page. All right, so that's just to give you an idea of what it would look like on a plain page, because I don't want it to be, the pages to be so busy that we lose our photos and we lose the focus. All right, so that is something, you know, I don't want too much going on this page. I could even just do the 2. That gives me more room here. And then on the other page, add my other pieces on the other page. And that would be a double layout then. What do you guys think? Should we go with less because of the busyness of the outside? While I'm here, you can use any of the colors out of any of this paper to do a matte. I've done one in Mossy Meadow, which is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And that would look good behind there. So it helps to highlight our photo a little bit using a color from the colors in our paper. And then we have our Polaroid, which is already matted, basically. Everyone's gone very quiet. Are we thinking this is too busy? That's what I'd like to know, because it is really busy with that paper, and I'm just wondering. Let me just quickly grab another alternate. I've got a piece of basic white. This is basic white 12 by 12. Do we like the Mossy Meadow, or do you think? I mean, we could go Mossy Meadow, or we could also go Darling Duckling. That would also look good. I'm wondering if it might lift it a bit more. Actually, I like the Darling Duckling. I think I like that better. What do you guys think? I think the yellow brings out the colours in the pineapples and the bananas. Let's do that instead. The white space does allow for journaling. Now, if I was going to journal on this, I would add a white, like a banner, and then add letters or stamping or whatever I wanted to it. I would not actually try and compete with this. I would actually separate it by putting it on a white banner. So that would work. But I'm going to, yeah, I think it lifts it too, Katrina. Yeah, the duckling does look better. Agreed. Agreed. So let's go 4 1/4, because this is a standard size photo. By, and you've got to pull this out for this one. 6 1/4 is almost right there on the join, but you don't lose it. That's one of the good things I like about this trimmer, is that you don't lose any. You still got your marks there, even in the middle of the join. So, all right. So I'm going to stick this on here. What have I done with my? Here it is. And I'm going to pop it on the Darling Duckling. Regardless of which paper I use on the base, it's going to look good. Who else is liking this paper? The pear paper. I think it's beautiful. I actually like the whole pear set. Right, so that definitely lifts that, don't you think? And I don't mind that on an angle either. So something about so this actually might look good. Might be too much yellow. Too yellow. I've got a couple more options I want to try. I want to try this. That's better because it brings the orange. Oops, better put the pears the right way. The orange brings out what's in the pineapples here. That actually is quite nice. And I also like this one. This is the other one I really like. I'm doing a change or switcheroo. I like this paper. I just think it's really pretty. That's nice too, but maybe a little busy. Although I like the Darling Duckling flowers, and the there's enough orangey tones in here, and the petal pink still brings out the pineapple, which is really nice. You claim the Fifth Amendment. You would reduce the size of the fruit photo or make a double layout. I think so too. I think the green base blends too well. Now this being on a white piece, you're going to lose that on here. So we're going to want to be putting that on whatever paper we use, and this over on the side so that it brings out the color over here. So I would probably put this the other way around, to be honest, because I want my Polaroid to show on my white. What do we think about that? That's nice. Too busy again. The second last one. Okay, let's try. And I've also got, we've also got dark, but I think that's too busy. It's nice. It's not terrible. That's with the secret C in the background. Oh, and we've also got this. We've also got this green, which is nice. It's too many choices, you guys. No. The DSP's too busy. You know what? I fell in love with this DSP when I saw Susan Canfield use it on her Crafternoon products earlier last month. And I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. All right, so here's my pairs. And I'm going to come in to the 4-inch mark, which means I'll get 3 out of a sheet. All right. And I'm going to pop that straight here on the left-hand side. So I'm actually going to take it all the way to the corner. You could bring it in and have a strip, so you've got a white edge here, or you could take it all the way to the corner. Yeah, actually, I like the white edge. I like the white edge. All right, I'm going to glue that down. I'm committing to this now. And I know I've talked way too much today and crafted not enough, but we're going to get this happening in the next few minutes, believe it or not. Once you make a decision, scrapbooking can be quick and easy. It's making that initial decision. What do I want to use? What do I want to see? And what do I want to do? Once you've decided that, it becomes easier, right? So, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to have a second row. I'm going to go with, I'm going to have a 3/4 of an inch strip of this, because I like that it brings out some of the green, and I'm going to put that down. Sometimes it's nice to use a kit because the kit just is so easy and, you know, everything's organized for you. But it's also nice to play around with products and make them work for you. Do we want this straight or on an angle? I kind of like the angle idea. Either way, I think it looks good. I'm going to pop this right here, but I'm actually going to use, I've got, let's see, we've got some pears. I'm going to cut a pear and a couple of these. I've also got this left over. I've got these waffle fries left over from Friday night's video, and I've got them in a couple of different colors. I like the green, I think. And that might look really good behind my... I could also do a gold one. We did a gold one the other night, remember? And there's the piece I cut. And that would look really good. And then when it comes to having... Some people think that a scrapbook page should have a title, okay? Yes, it's emotional. Exactly. It's an emotional investment for sure. All right. So I'm going to show you in a second a couple of choices we have with, I'm going to cut these, but choices we have with titles or using words on our page. I'm going to make a couple of cuts with the pears. And I'm going to do a couple of different types of, we've got the double pears and we've also got the big pear. The big, well, it's not that big, but that will look really nice with this. So I'm cutting all three at the same time. I decided not to use the little flowers. I'm just using the pears and the leaf. All right. That pear I didn't line this pear. I've lined up perfectly, but this one I actually went a little bit too wide on the side. If ever that happens, not a problem. Just let's trim some of that white off. I'm going to get rid of that because I just didn't quite cut it properly. There we go. That's better. And then we also have, now this one Some of you were around on Friday night. This actually goes on top, so it looks like it's coming out of the top of the pear, and it looks better. We had this conversation too on Friday night. It looks better if you get rid of the little white bit at the bottom. So I'm actually going to glue dot this on. And let's pop that right there at the very top of our pear. Like so. Looks good, doesn't it? Doesn't that look great? I love the way these pears look. All right, so I've got a single pear and I've got a double pear. Okay. I'm deciding whether I might want another one. We'll see. And I'm thinking maybe a circle behind the pear. Now I did this on my card the other night and I thought it looked really nice. So so the pear's like sitting on a circle. We'll have some cross hatching from behind. I don't know. Do I want it on a circle or not? Because if I did, I could pop it down here and, you know, we could have it popping out like so. That kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's a maybe. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to use a little bit of blending with a blending brush. I'm getting a... What color do I want to bring out the most? Do I want to bring out the Darling Duckling? Do I want to bring out the Petal Pink? That is the question. Because if I'm going to bring out the Petal Pink, which I could, then I want to use some Petal Pink. I'm thinking I do, actually. I think Petal Pink will be the color. So I've got my Petal Pink ink. I've got a Petal Pink blending brush. And I'm going to have this. And doing this means we might not need the circle. All right, that looks right good, actually. And then I'm going to have some more of that coming out from the top end, the top corner of the photo. Just a little bit. That looks good. I am going to make this a little bigger. How good are blending brushes? They immediately transform your scrapbooking pages and your cards, and you need them in your collection. If you don't have blending brushes, please go and get yourself some. All right, so I'm liking how that's looking. Then this, and possibly this behind that. Or do I want a circle? I don't think I do. And then I feel like these pairs would look nice right about here. Okay, now I've still got this guy and I'm deciding where I want him to be. I'm thinking I want him on an angle. I could do it straight. Oh, I like them both. I don't know. All right, let me glue this down. You could use tape. You could use Tombow. You can use whatever glue you like. I know. The lattice is really cool, Susie. I love it too. All right, I'm leaving a little space, probably about a centimetre between here and here. So the question is, do we want crooked? Or do we want straight? I'm actually, now something to think about when you're doing a album page, you don't need a lot of dimension because it's going to be in an album, so it's going to look flat anyway. But I am putting them on dimensionals just for the sake of how it looks out of the album. It's up to you. You could go either way. I'm going straight. And then I'm going to add this. I'm going to put that on dimensionals. I'm putting that, just the dimensional just over the join here, which will give it a bit more strength so that the leaf won't wander around. Okay, like that. And then this can just slide in underneath there, wherever you would like it to be. Yep. And I'm going to do my silicone matte and seal trick. So just a little bit of seal on my silicone matte, and that's going to give it like that. Right. This little guy, he's going to go on. So you can see once we decided what we were doing, there was a lot of fluffing around at the start, but once we decided what we're doing, oh, you think crooked, Brenda? Angle adds interest. Oh, maybe not then. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Everyone's saying crooked. It's all right. I can, because I've only used dimensionals, that's another advantage of using dimensionals. It's easy enough to carefully lift it up. Oh, this one I've ripped it a little bit. That's okay. Still cover it up. All right. Now, also, I think some journaling right here will look really good. And let me just see if I have a journaling pen handy. Here we go. I do. We have journaling pens in our album now. Our first turtle on the North Shore. There we go. Looks better as soon as you add journaling, doesn't it? All right, so I'm actually liking it. It's simple, but I'm liking how this is looking. This is what I've got so far. Okay, I'm just going to scroll out a little bit. Zoom out so that you can see what I'm doing a little better, and you can also see more of my mess, but well, that's okay. So I want to have, I could stamp, or I could add, like I could add, you know, in letters. I've got my mini alphabet. These are great for adding to a page. This one, I could add the words North Shore or something like that from my mini alphabet. You only run it through once because it's one die that gives you all. You can see I've still got some paper in there, some petunia pop paper from previous. To get it out, I need to get my pokey tool and then lift it, you know, go along and push them out. So I should do that at some point. Clearly, I did not clean up properly after the last time I used it. But we could easily create the words North Shore out of that. Or you could stamp stuff. All right. Now, we have a lot of the stamp sets that match the scrapbooking workshop kits have some really great words in them. All right. And I think, oh, thanks, Brenda. It's, you know, we've had this discussion before. It's really important to use your handwriting. A lot of people go, oh, I can't use my handwriting. I've got terrible handwriting. I'll tell you what, after that time, remember we found my dad's handwriting on the back of a photo I scrapbooked in one of these videos, and I didn't know the writing was on there until I went to glue the photo down and went, I can't cover this up. And I didn't. I found a way of using a flip flap to keep it so that you can still read the printing on the back. Towards the end of his life, my dad, in August of last year, that's when he stopped writing in his diary every day because his fingers just didn't work properly anymore and he couldn't write anymore. And I would love for my dad to be able to write me a note again. Handwriting is precious. It's a really important part of who you are. I don't care if it's not perfect. I want you to use your handwriting on your layouts. It's really important because it reminds you of people that, you know, even when they're gone, their handwriting was something that was uniquely them. So, oh, you just got your huge SU order. Fantastic, Susan. I'm so happy. Yep, we love that, don't we? Hello, Gina. Nice to see you. So, yes, I think it's really important. So I want to just introduce you for a second to some of the sets that are in our catalogue that match scrapbooking workshop kits. So we have some scrapbook workshop kits. For example, there's some here. So it starts on page 65. There's this one, Memories in Bloom. Okay. In fact, this is the one I was going to use today, but never mind. It's one of the ones I was going to use today. I was going to borrow this one from a friend, and unfortunately that wasn't to be. But I did actually. The one I originally was going to do, and the one that's due to arrive here tomorrow, is this one, Weekend Adventures, and we'll do that another time. I thought it'd be really great with some of my past Alaska photos. All right, so there's a Celebrate Together, which has got all the lovely things that's to do with drinks and celebrating, and then this Totally Sweet one. These are separate to the sweets and separate to other things. But what's important is they each have a stamp set to match them. And these stamp sets are particularly scrapbooking orientated. Okay. Or is that right? Oriented? I'm not sure. I'm not using the right word, but they're basically more for scrapbooking than they are for cards, because something like Good Times or Smiles and Sunshine, you could put them on a card, but they're really going to go great on the scrapbook page, right? This one has Mothers Are a Blessing, but yeah, that could be on a card. Always Together. That's a scrapbooking sentiment. Okay, so hello, Tanya. How are you? So my feeling is you want to go looking for some of these. This one's got Family and Friends. Wouldn't that be great on a scrapbooking page, or A Day to Remember? I could definitely use that one on my page. Adventure Starts Here, Things to Do, Places to See, Taking the Scenic Route. These are scrapbooking friendly sentiments. Okay, so if you are wanting to do some scrapbooking, go and check out the stamp sets that match the workshop kits. Okay, those are fantastic. So any workshop kit usually has a scrapbooking set as well. All right, so this one is the Everyday You and Me. This one is on the last chance list. You've got Love Every Moment, Better Together, Happy, and So Much Joy. Great scrapbooking sentiments. This one has Bountiful Blessings. Now, Bountiful Blessings would go nice with my fruit theme, don't you think? Even though this is Autumn to Remember, and this one is this is last chance as well. So these are all marked down. But I like that Bountiful Blessings. That might work really, really well on this page. And then this one, we have Special Moments. That's really nice. Hello Spring would be great on a page that, you know, was all about your garden, that kind of thing. I think I'm going to use Special Moments. If I'm going to do Bountiful Blessings, I'd probably put that up in this corner here. What do we think? Bountiful Blessings or Special Moments? If I was going to do Special Moments, I'm probably going to put it up the side here or across the top of my, maybe across the top in this case. If I'm not going to add another sentiment, then I would add it at the top. If I had a different sentiment here, then I would put my smaller letters up the side. But I like that idea. Actually, I've decided. What do you think? The sentiments tend to be larger than those for cards. I know. Very much on trend and great for scrapbooking. Special Moments, says Maureen. Okay, Maureen, let's do it. Let's go Special Moments. And it's bigger than what it is on the outside. Okay, so you can see it's a reasonable size greeting. And if I was to put it right about here, Special Moments. And then when I have my second page, which is going to have myself and my husband on it, okay, that'll be on the accompanying layout, then that's going to work really well. So I'm going to put Special Moments on my block. Actually, I'm going to put it straight on my block because I find that easier to line up. And I put it straight on my block by using my grid. Okay, so I'm using you can use grid paper or a glass mat for this. Line it up so it's actually straight on the line. I'm just going to get over it so I can see that I'm actually straight. That's good. And then I line up my block so it's straight as well, and then it's straight on my block, and that makes it easier for me to place. So I'm going to have this going kind of here. And for this one, I'm going to go with my darker color. So I could go Secret Sea, but there really isn't any Secret Sea. There is actual sea, but there's no actual Secret Sea on this. So I think I'll go Mossy Meadow because I think that's going to be more in keeping with my page. And then we're going to pop that Special Moments. And the nice thing is you can sort of move it around and see where you like it. I like it right about here. So I'm going to Just hold that down to transfer the ink for a second or a few seconds. And there we go. Special moments. That looks great. I'm really happy with this. This has turned out to be a lovely page. Now, what did I do with the journaling pen that I just literally had a moment ago? Where did I put it? Because I want to add the date. I always like to add the date. So I don't know the actual, I could probably work it out, but rather than, what I would do is I would add, this is June, actually, no, it's May 2015. So I would add that up the side here, or you could add it in the bottom, but I've already got enough happening on the bottom, so I think up the side would be really nice for this. And I don't know what I've done with my journaling pen, but once I find it, I will add that up the side. I think that would look really nice. What do you think? Got my coffee. Now, what was Cherie telling Tanya there? I'm just trying to go back and see the comments. Oh, I can't see the crowns because I'm not watching on YouTube. I'm watching on StreamYard because that's the streaming software that I use. You can see the sun's come out and now we have shadow going on the page. But I really like the page. I'm very, very happy with it. I know it did turn out really well. Very often you have to sort of to and fro to find the right path when it comes to scrapbooking. And sometimes you have to, you know, try different things and, you know, you end up with something different to what you thought. So I did end up with something quite different to what I thought, but I actually really like the page. And I like the elements that work really well on here. The bit of blending underneath the pear and in this corner. I think that works well. I like this green strip next to these pears. I think that works really well. I like that we have fruit echoed from the photos to the DSP and the colors echoed from the photos to the DSP. So it turned out to be exactly the right photos for this. And I'm sorry about the shadow. There's not much I can do with it. I know, the sun is great today, isn't it? What did I do with my journaling pen? Did I drop it on the floor? Because that could have, that happens, right? I don't know what I've done with it. Now, something I did also pull out today, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use them. These are also, just a little aside, something you can do and add to a scrapbook page. They're fantastic for cards, but they're also great for scrapbooking pages. So if I wanted, for example, to have a label, just say I wanted to add a label with the date rather than writing the date up here, I could push out my little gold edged label. These are called, what are they called? They're called Foiled Frames and Labels Ephemera Pack. And they are in our current annual catalogue, I believe. You know, I could add a label up here if I wanted to. And it's got that lovely gold edge, which goes really nicely with these colours. Why are we blurry? Why is it blurry right now? Oh, the wink on the pears. That's a great idea. Well, seeing as I can't find my... All right. Well, I'm going to add something super quick. I've got a card base here. Basic white card base. Who knows why I lose stuff all the time? Like I said, you guys don't do that. I know you don't, but I do. All right. So I might decide, for example, to... Let's use my favorite paper at the moment, which is this one. And I'm going to make the world's fastest card. And when I clean up my desk, I will find, I'm going to go 7.5 centimeters. So I'm back to card making now, so I've gone back to metric. And I'm going to go 11.5 centimeters this way. All right. And I've got some more of this left, and I do really like, I'm really liking the Darling Duckling with this. So I'm going to, so I'm going to go 12 centimeters. We're going to make the world's fastest card right about now. It'll take us 2 minutes, I reckon. If someone's watching the clock, I know they are. All right, so this and then this piece here is going to go right here. Look how pretty these are. I'm going to put that here. And I've got my Perfectly Pairs stamp set somewhere. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put that right there. And I'm using basic white, but I could have used any of the colours for my card base. You know, I could have used petal pink or whatever, but I'm using white. Right, that's going to go right there in the middle. I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. And this is something I want to show you, that these kinds of beautiful papers and all this kind of stuff, as well as all the kits, you can make cards with them. You don't have to be limited. You can break the rules just because it says it's a scrapbooking kit. You don't have to. You can make cards. But of course, I'm not using a scrapbooking kit today, but you know, you can. All right. Now, let's look at our ephemera pack right here. I'm deciding what maybe, and can you see it also creates frames? All right, these are really nice. So you've got the frames left over from the pieces that you use as well. And then I'm going to add that. I'm going to add that right to the center, because if I'm going to put it at the top, I'm going to cover up the top of the pear. I might as well cover up more of the pear. And I'm going to find my Perfect Pairs set that I literally had a moment ago. Oh, it's one of those days for me today, you guys. I don't know what I've done with the Perfectly Pairs. Oh, here it might be here. Ta-da! And a good friend is a gift. I think that is a really nice thing to add to this. I've never used that one before, so it's still on the plastic. Oh, and I forgot to put my phone in Do Not Disturb before I started this. My husband just texted me. I hope he doesn't try and call me. All right, so I'm going to put that there right in the middle. A good friend is a gift. I'm using, and I could have used Secret Sea, which would have been a little darker. That probably would have been a good choice, but that's okay. And your daughter's coming to visit. What does that say? So I need to prove I don't need a nursing home. Oh, yeah, right. I don't think you're even close to a nursing home, Miss Cherie. You're doing awesome. I think that's obvious to everyone. So hopefully to your daughter as well. All right, so that goes in the middle there. We could add a bow or a ribbon if we wanted to, but I think I'm going to add some, which color will I choose? Will we go with the Secret Sea ones to pull out the color in the paper, or will we go with the green? I think the Secret Sea. All right, so I'm going to have one down here, and then I'm going to have two little ones up the top. One. And there you go. We made a card as well as a scrapbook page, just to show that this set is fantastic. The paper is just beautiful, don't you think? How gorgeous is that? All right, so I'm very happy with how this turned out. I am going to add a date somewhere, and I'm thinking probably up the side here. I think that would look really nice. And then I'll be calling this a finished page, and I'll post it so you guys can see it on my social media. A new cat! I'm so excited. What kind of new cat? Is it a special cat? Is it a rescue? Is it what kind of cat? What color is it? I want to know all about the cat, and I want to see photos, please. And I want to know everything, Tanya. I'm very excited for you. It is very exciting. Or I shouldn't be saying this because I don't want to jinx anything, but we've been thinking about getting a new cat too. We're thinking about getting a kitten. Oh my goodness. Am I insane? I am the crazy cat lady. We're thinking about getting a new kitten because Crumpet is 5, Merlot is 10 in October. And we're thinking if we got another kitten now, when Crumpet is 5, then they'll be each 5 years apart. And one day when Crumpet is suddenly, we don't want Crumpet to be on his own. He's never been on his own. And I know A special rescue cat. Oh, Blue Tabby. How lovely. Fantastic. I want photos, please. All right, you guys. All right, I'm going to scroll back to me. I went a little bit over time today, but that's okay, right? And if you have anything that you've seen today or any of our other beautiful products, please go ahead to the online store. Here's my store. If you go there to my blog, there is a shop now button on there that allows you to shop with me in the online store. Also, you can sign up for newsletters there. Okay. There are lots of ways to connect with me. One way is to get a newsletter. I try and send them out weekly. I have already sent out this week's. It went out on yesterday morning, as Leslie discovered because I confused her. But also on the blog, you can also go shopping. And there's also tutorials that appear on there and all sorts of things. You can also shop for any written tutorials that I'm currently selling. So, okay, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. to do a Techniques Thursday, unusually for you, to make up for yesterday's non-event video. And hopefully I'll see some of you there. Any questions before I head off? Anything we need to know? Oh, thank you. I'm really happy with the layout. It turned out really, really great. So I know that, that's how it turned out. I love it. And then of course the card as well. All right. That was today's effort. I hope you had fun. I did. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.